Now let us learn about switch case statement in C++ with some examples. Switch case statement. So what is the use of this switch case statement? This switch case statement is used when we have multiple conditions and we need to perform different actions based on that condition. So when we have multiple conditions and we need to execute a block of statement when a particular condition is satisfied, in that case we can either use lengthy if else if statement or a switch statement. But the problem with lengthy if else statement becomes complex, especially when we have several conditions. Eventually what we are going to do with switch case statement is same as what we do with an if else condition. The problem here is when you have multiple conditions, when you use if else if statement, the program length will be big. To avoid that one, we were using switch case statement. When you use switch case statement, the code will look clean and nice, so it will be easy for us to understand what is going on in that code. So this is basically why we are using switch case over if else if condition. So here is a syntax for you to use switch condition. Switch is a keyword, then here we are going to have a variable or an integer expression. We will see what does that mean. Then we are going to have a case as a keyword, and then here we are going to have a constant. So what is constant? The value that cannot be changed is called constant. So we can have number of cases based on a condition, and then we can use this switch statement to execute that particular block of code when a certain condition is true. Let me give you this quick simple example so that you will understand how this switch case would work. Right here, let's say I'm going to create a variable. Let's say it's an integer variable. Now I'm going to say maybe n1 or whatever, let's say number to be more precise. So in that case I'm going to have a number. The number, let's say 2. Okay, now I'm going to use the switch case. So based on this switch case is going to execute a certain condition. So now I'm going to use switch as a keyword. In the switch we need to pass the parameter. It can be either a variable or an integer expression. So what is the name of the variable here? Number. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now inside I'm going to write the cases, the different cases. Cases is nothing but the place where we are going to write the actions for each condition. Let's say first I'm going to have case, and then I'm going to call this one as 1, and then don't forget to put the colon, because that is what the syntax says. Case as a keyword, space, constant. In this case I'm using the number 1 and then colon. So here you can write a C++ code, right? So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to just type C out, and then I'm just going to type the message. The message can be anything. I'm from case 1, let's say, and then I'm going to put the end of statement. So this is a first case, right? Now I'm going to just copy and paste multiple times. Let's say in this case, this one I'm going to just change the case number to 2. This one will be 3. This one will be 4. So let me change the meaning of these cases as 4 and 4. So what we have done exactly same like if and else if. As I say that these cases will be executed only when the given condition is true. Now where are we going to check the condition? The condition will be checked here. Here we have assigned the value to the variable as 2. So the corresponding case for this number variable will be executed. So since we have assigned the value as 2, so in this case, instead of executing the case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, it will go and execute the corresponding block case 2, because the number value is set to 2. So in this case, this is a only case is true in this matter, right? So when I run this one, let us see. So number value is 2 is supposed to execute only the message that is coming from the case 2, but here you can see it is even executing case 2, case 3 and case 4. Instead of executing just case 2, why is it executing case 3 and case 4? Now the reason behind that you are getting the result of the case 3 and case 4 instead of just getting case 2, just because we are just saying when the number value is 2, print. Then we are not said our code to say break the statement when I satisfy my condition. right? That is the reason why is keep on executing even case 3 and case 4. In case if you want to break the statement, once your condition is satisfied, you are going to use break as a keyword. So what is the use of this break statement? These break statements are used when you want your program flow to come out of the switch body. So here I am going to include break. So what is the use of this one? In case if the number value is 1, and then here I am going to check the number is 1, right? So I'm just going to execute the case 1. After executing this case 1, I should break the program so that I will just get the result of this case 1. So you're going to include the break statement after every case so that when the corresponding cases executes, the statement or the program will break. When I save and run, let me just put the 2 here again, and then I'm going to save and run. You will see the difference now. You see, this time it has just executed I am from case 2. Previously it was executed case 2, case 3, case 4, just because the program condition got true on case 2. So we are failing to break the statement once the condition is true. That is the reason why it has managed to print the case 3 and case 4. In this case we have introduced the keyword name called break. Break means when this condition is true, just execute this part, then break the statement. That is what it means, right? This is a basic syntax and the simple program of how switch statement works. Now in case, let's say I just declare the variable as number, then I have not assigned any value for that one. In this case, what do you think? Which statement is going to be executed? Because I have not specified any value to this number. So this number will execute. Is it going to execute case 1 or case 2 or case 3 or case 4, or is not going to do anything? Let's see. As you can see them here, it has printed nothing because there is no corresponding value for this variable number. That is the reason why it is giving me an empty result. Same like in if condition, when the condition is true, that particular block of code will be executed. In case if the condition is false, remember we used to have else statement where we display the message saying maybe your option is invalid. Here in the switch statement we have something called default. So we will have default statements in case if these conditions fails. So in this default one we are going to type a message saying invalid option or whatever the message. So here I've typed invalid entry. In this case it's not just going to give me a blank result, instead it's going to display an invalid entry. So when I run this one, as expected, invalid entry is been executed. So when I get the number value as 6, because we don't have the 6th condition, we only have condition for 4 cases. So even in this case it should return default invalid entry. But if I enter the option as 4, it will go and execute the 4th condition, because the case is true, then this corresponding code will be executed. As you can see them here, I am from case 4. So this is how basically switch statement works. It does exactly like if else if statement, but this code look clean, especially when you have a lengthy code. So when you write a lengthy if else if statement, it will never look nice. Even in the previous example, the one that we have done using if else if for the program to create 12 hours and 24 hours time format, but if you use the switch statement for that case, it's going to look nice, right? So it's always recommended for you to use switch statement, especially when you have more conditions to check. So now I'm going to give you an exercise to check whether you are really understood how this switch statement works. The exercise is this: you are going to write a program to perform a simple arithmetic operations using switch statement. That is your task. So you are going to perform an arithmetic operation such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo operation using switch statement. Now this is your time. Just pause the video, then try to write the code, then I will come and give you the solution. So here is the solution. Now let me remove these things, make this one big. So we are going to perform the arithmetic operation. For that I need to work with an operator. I'm going to create a char variable, and then I'm going to define a variable as op. Op means operators. We have plus, minus, multiplication, division and modulo operation. That's the reason why I have created this one. And then we need two numbers. Let's say we are going to perform an arithmetic operations with two numbers, or maybe you can even ask the user to enter the number. Let's say let's say we are just going to create another variable, integer, and then num1 and num2. This one we are going to perform an arithmetic operations on two numbers. Now we are going to ask our user to enter the numbers because we are not going to assign any value for that one, so we are going to ask the user to enter the number. So here, and then we need to collect those two numbers. Now we need to get the input for these two numbers. If it is first one, we can say num1, and then when you want to get the input for more than one variable, the next variable you can collect them like this. It's not necessarily you need to write another cin statement to get the input for the another number. Even if you do that one, it's okay. Let's say you're going to have cin in the next line, it's still okay, but it's always a best practice to have this method so that there is no need for you to have more than one cin statement. So this cin statement will help us to get input for more than one number. Right now we have managed to get the input from the user. So what do you need to do? Now you need to choose the operation. Now we are going to ask the user to choose the operation, whether if they want to perform an addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So I'm going to write a message here, cout. Maybe we are going to ask a user to choose the operation, or maybe what do you want to perform. To be more specific, we will just pass the operators here so that they will know what do we mean to say what do you want to perform. Maybe let's say addition, subtraction, multiplication, and let's just say division. So among these operations, which one would you like to perform? That is what we are trying to ask our user, right? So let me just put a semicolon there. Now this operator, these are all the operator, right? So let's say this operator is been defined in this variable. So in that case, that one will be collected from cin op. This op specifies the operator of this one. Now we have declared the variables and the necessary conditions that we need. Now we are coming to the switch. So what are you going to pass them here? We are going to ask the user to choose the operator. So based on this operator, we are going to perform the operation, right? So what you need to pass them here as a parameter is op, because they are going to perform an operation based on this operator. So this operator has been collected using this cin function, right? So I'm going to pass that one as a parameter. Now I'm going to have the case. The first one is, let's say I'm going to perform instead of having 1 2 3, in this case let us be more specific or more precise. I'm going to use plus operator. So when the user enters the plus, it will perform the arithmetic operation. But this plus is an operator. This operator variable belongs to the character data type. If you want to define a character data type, you need to define them in the single quote. I hope you remember, right? So if it is a string, it has to be there within the double quotes. If it is a character, it has to be there within the single quote. Now this is plus. Here you can write the condition. Now when somebody press plus, what do you need to do? You need to perform an arithmetic operation, right? How do you perform arithmetic operation? Simply you are going to say, let's say maybe cout. Here you perform the arithmetic. Maybe the addition is, so if you want to add, you are going to add from num1 and num2, right? So num1 plus num2. Let me just put the end L and then break the statement. It's very important for you to break the statement. Remember, otherwise it will not break the condition. Same, you are going to do the same for the rest of the operation. So let me just copy and paste and rename the operation. Okay, now I have managed to write the cases for all the operations that we want to perform based on this recommendation. In case if the user enters anything else apart from these operators, we need to give the default message saying choose the right operation, right? So I'm going to have the default statement. So it's simply a message saying invalid entry or maybe invalid operation. That's it. Even this one you can break them. So now I'm just going to run this one. Let's see how does this one would look like. Enter the two numbers 4 and 5. What do you want to perform? Let's say I want to perform the division. When I perform the division, when I enter, the division is 0. Is it 0? Num1 divided by num2. Yeah, it's giving me 0 because I said that it's an integer. So if I change this one to float, I'm sure that it will give us the right result. So let me run again. Enter two numbers. The first number will be 9, the second number will be 5. Let's say I wanted to perform the division operation. So when I hit the division operator, it's going to give us the division result as 1.8. Just because I have changed the data type to float, I can able to see the decimal value, right? So in case if you enter any other operation, still it can perform. But if you enter anything else apart from these four, let's say 8 and then 9, if you enter something else, let's say I'm going to enter 0 here, it should give me a message saying invalid entry, right? As expected, it is giving me a message saying is an invalid entry. This is how switch case statement would work in C++. Now few things that you need to understand in this switch condition. First, this switch statement is going to have a parameter, right? So this parameter must be of data type either character or integer. In case if I change this one to float and I save this one, and then when it comes to a float, I can change these things around. I would say 1.0 because that's how the float looks, right? 2.0, 3.0, let me call this one as 4.0. So when I save and run this one, it's giving me an error. What is the error? Switch quantity not an integer. So whatever the parameter that you are passing them here, the data type must be of either character or integer. So if I say this one as an integer, when I save and when I run this one, now there is an error here. So this one has to be a type of integer or a character. Again, this case values that you are going to put them here is also has to be the type of either integer or character. So when I say integer, 1 is an integer, 2 is an integer, 3 is an integer, 4 is an integer. When I run this one, it will have no error. You see, it's running. Or I can just make this one as a character. We have seen them already how to make them as a character. It was working, so I don't want to go back again. So this case value is also has to be either integer or a character. Even the parameter that you are passing them here for the switch condition, the data type for this variable has to be either character or integer. So this is how switch condition would work in C++.